Hey guys, welcome to the reading for today. We're going to see what's going on, what you need to know about. It's a general reading. It could be past, present, or future. You will know best how it resonates for you, okay? So, what's going on, Spirit? What is happening today? All right, so we're starting off with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, interesting. The Two of Pentacles at the bottom. So we got a Queen of Swords in reverse here. Okay, this is someone who can be cold-hearted, a liar, manipulative. Okay, uses their intellect for bad purposes. We'll have to see. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. A plan is not working out. Something cannot be perfected here, or someone is not hardworking, they're lazy. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Somebody made too many mistakes. Let's see what this is. Queen of Swords in reverse. Who's this? The Hierophant. The Magician and the Two of Wands. Interesting. Because that's kind of like... I don't know, something could come across as being very cold, all right? Very straight, blunt, and cold. When it comes to making choices here, the Hierophant. The Magician. Okay, so the Hierophant and the Magician together, that speaks of being a spiritualist, right? Like a practicing spiritualist of some sorts. Making choices. You have a choice to make. Yeah, when you have choices, there's no feelings or there's no emotion, or something is cold-hearted. Okay. Let's see what that's about. Eight of Pentacles reverse. The Moon. The Eight of Cups and the Page of Swords. A message, some sort of communication, somebody walking away, leaving, or being emotionally detached. Yeah, that's what I feel more than anything here, okay, is like an emotional detachment or being cold-hearted in a way. Or very critical. Let's see, what's the Wheel of Fortune? Judgment, yeah, but something here is judgment. It's kind of making me feel like, you know how when you watch like America's Next Top Model, okay, and the judges have to send someone home. It's not like they want to be, well, they're mean, okay, let's be honest. Sometimes they are very mean, but I mean like when you're making decisions and you have to let something go or you have to vote someone out, sometimes it can come across a bit bluntly, right? But something here has to do with judgment and people's karma, serving people their karma, judgment. You have a choice to make. Magician and the Hierophant, a spiritualist. Okay. Death in reverse, something not ending, something not changing, no transformation. No rebirth, the Empress. This has something to do with emotional shutdown. I can tell that much, but why exactly? Okay, what's that about? Tell me more about Queen of Swords reverse. The Five of Wands. Yeah, something here is a fight. Oops. Something here is a fight. It's a battle. It's a war. or there's conflict, there's an argument, or there's competition, okay? There's an enemy of some sort. The Knight of Cups in reverse, yeah, no compassion. No compassion. Okay, I don't know. So there's something here about not showing certain people any kind of compassion or mercy. But that has to do with their judgment as well. Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Karma and their judgment day has to do with showing certain people no kind of emotion or no kind of compassion or mercy. Okay, the choices that they have to make or the choices that they've made. So I don't know, what's the question here? Is this like, why do some people receive compassion, mercy, and some don't? Depends on what they did, I would say, okay? Tell me more about that, this choice. The Hanged Man. Punishment. Yeah, there's something here about that, okay? Like, this is giving me authority, all right? I mean, I was already getting that with the spiritualist, but this has something to do with authority, okay? And having a certain sense of authority, like karma or judgment, or being able to speak this out, okay? Or being able to present people with a choice, right? So it's like, okay, so you have the easy way or the hard way. And whatever you do next, that decides your karma or your fate. That's an ability, that's a gift. But in order to have this gift, okay, you have to have a certain level of authority. And even that carries with it an energy of having to be able to shut off in a way, okay, or disconnect yourself. It could come across sometimes very cold, emotionless. 8 of Cups, okay, emotional detachment. But I feel like this has to do with this gift, this something about deciding punishment. I don't know. Why is that important? Look, the reason why some people have this gift is because they don't abuse it. That's the number one rule, all right, is you can't abuse this gift. But that's a character thing, okay? It's like only God can judge if you have what it takes to have that kind of an ability, because you have to have a certain level of authority. But this is spiritual authority with the Magician. This is like, I have powers and I have really strong powers, but I know what I'm allowed to do with them and what I'm not allowed to do with them, or I follow a certain moral code. This is moral code. Okay, so it's spiritual law, basically. You have to follow spiritual law. It's not much different than having authority in real life. Kind of, okay? Because you have this ability to call judgment over people or to present them with a choice of karma, okay? Or their fate and their punishment. Temperance, and it's a divine gift. But only people that don't abuse this are allowed to have it. Because of the gravity of it, okay? Because there's something here also about like no mercy and a sense of emotional disconnection, okay? So spirit and God, if you have this authority, need to make sure that when you pull this one out, it's only on people that actually deserve it, truly, truly deserve no mercy, right? And another thing is, if it's coming out like this, you're only allowed as a spiritualist to present people with choices or to act out of this way when God gives you the permission to do this, right? So it's not like, well, I don't like you, so I'm not going to show you any mercy. Okay, it's more like that only comes in when God says it comes in, okay? And you know, even if you have a gift like this emotional disconnection or this cold-heartedness, okay, that can come across sometimes, it's just very blunt, right? You need that, because if you're at the core, if you are an empathetic person or a compassionate person, and you would typically show more people compassion or mercy even when they don't deserve it, you got to be able to turn that off, right? This is like, I'm just the messenger. I'm just the middleman. I'm just the one with the spiritual authority to be able to present this to someone, okay? And again, that won't even come from you. It's like, this is like when the divine says to you, look, this person has a choice now. And you can tell them that, but it doesn't come from you. You're not the one presenting it to people. This is more like you have the gift of this, okay? And it has to do with punishment. It's more like spiritual judgment, okay? This is more like judgment over people's soul is what I feel. The Nine of Swords, the Star. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a spiritual gift. The Eight of Wands. And it has something to do with like, yeah, the Eight of Wands is giving me some sort of waves, okay? Or some sort of download, spiritual communication coming in quickly. But the Nine of Swords is here. Anxiety, stress, worrying. Somebody is stressed and worried about a spiritual gift. Why is somebody so stressed about your spiritual gift? Okay. Because it's a spiritual gift. Temperance, because it's straight from the divine. It's a spiritual gift to be able to do that, okay? To be able to present people with the choice of karma, to be able to present people with their fate, okay? To say that, you know, you have the easy way or the hard way, basically. Because you're a master magician, okay? The Hierophant and the Magician, you're a master magician and you're a master spiritualist. And you have spiritual authority here. That's been anointed to you by the divine, okay? So that's where that comes from. Because, again, I have to keep clarifying, because you don't abuse it. If you were to abuse this gift, it would be taken away immediately, okay? You're not allowed to abuse this kind of a gift. That's first and foremost. It's, like I said, it's the same thing as law. This is spiritual law, but it's the same thing as normal law, okay? You have a high title somewhere, you have a position of authority, you're not allowed to abuse it. You decide, if you're the judge, okay, sitting in court, you are the judge, you have a certain position, you're not allowed to abuse that position. You decide who gets mercy and who doesn't, okay? That could just be an intuitive feeling for any judge that works the case, okay? But in this situation, it's the same thing, right? The Four of Swords. Oh, the Wheel of Karma, fortune, yeah, destiny. Somebody here is thinking deeply, contemplating deeply something about fate and karma, destiny. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this is like being able to read people's future as well. Okay, so this is not as much like, if you're a master magician spiritualist here, you're obviously not creating these people's futures for them. You're just telling them what's going to happen to them based off of their own decisions that they make. And that's how destiny works, right? You get there based off of your own free will choices. You decide if you make it to your destiny or not, okay? It's your choice. It's always a choice. And your gift here in this situation is merely telling these people what choices they have based off of the future that you can read, okay? So spirit can show you two different paths in someone's life. It's like either this is the way your life is going to go, or this is how the life is going to go. It all depends on the choice that this person ends up making. And if they make the wrong choice, then how are you, I mean, you can't have compassion and mercy for people that make the wrong choice, even though they were presented with a choice, right? it's like, you know, pretend you're a cop, okay? And you pull someone over and it's this person, you just said, look, I'll let you off with a warning, okay? But you got to do this right now and you'll be free. Or you keep playing games with us and you keep messing up and then you'll have a punishment, right? It's the same concept, okay? But one is in the physical and one is in the spiritual. So why is that important here? Nine of Swords. Justice, because it has to do with justice. Yeah, this is about fairness, justice, and karma, and spiritual justice, okay? But again, this is about the scale being fair. It has to be fair. It has to be balanced. Things have to stay unbiased and neutral. And that means, again, if you have this spiritual gift, your own personal emotions and your personal feelings towards someone stay out of it, even if it doesn't appear that way, okay? But they do, because you have to operate in this energy of Queen of Swords in reverse, Eight of Cups, which is complete emotional detachment from what you're doing, okay, and what you're saying. This is just, it's just cold hard facts, and that's it, all right? Could come across a bit mean and cold. That's who the Queen of Swords is, right? But it has to be in that energy because it has to be fair, balanced, and neutral. And your feelings can't affect it whatsoever. So it swings the same way around, the other way around, right? So let's say you really don't like someone at all. You can't stand them. But Spirit says, that's not their karma, or they're not going to get their karma in that way. They're going to get it in a different way. You can't self-impose your own emotions onto their punishment. The punishment is what God says it is. And if that means they get off the hook, then they get off the hook, okay? Now, if somebody gets a more severe punishment, okay, that also is something that will be handed down to you by the judge, which is God in this case, okay? So you're just basically the script here saying, look, this is the punishment, all right? And whatever that is, that's fair, that's just. And you're only conveying it because you've been given the authority to do it, right? And I want to say also, like, this is not an easy gift to carry whatsoever. This is a very, very hard gift to carry because, again, things will come across like you have no compassion or you don't care, you have no empathy for people, other people. But sometimes you'll even be, I don't know how to say, it's like God is requiring that of you. You can tell, right? You can tell that God is requiring you to do something, even though you feel like, I would have probably let up by now. But in these kind of situations, you're just the messenger. You're literally just the middleman. You're the medium. You're the one with the gift. You don't decide what happens to people or I don't know, you're just following orders, okay? But they're spiritual orders. So that's just, I don't know, that's just how it is. Ascending, transcending an obstacle. Learning, expanding, okay? Somebody is learning something new here. What's this about? The choices, yeah, this has to do with people being presented with a certain choice that they have to make, right? Yeah, it's a thing of destiny and fate, right? That's a choice. You have a choice now over your own destiny, over your own life. I don't understand why that's so important though. Garden in reverse. Something's not growing, something's not watering. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, what's that? Something's not working on something anymore, or the Three of Wands in reverse, no future. No future. What, is that someone's punishment that they don't get a future? Okay, what else? The Seven of Swords. Why? Because they lied about something. Look, some people's choices in life are not easy, okay? The hardest one you can ever have is life or death, right? Some people, the choices that they make are so severe that that's their punishment, no future. Because they're lying about something, they're trying to get away with something here. The Fool, they want a new beginning. And what they get instead is no future. Yeah, something here is not going to work out. Eight of Pentacles reverse. No, it's a missed opportunity. They can't take action. Somebody made too many mistakes. No second chances. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, it's like, it's the same thing with God as it is with the law. All right, they'll let you off with a warning once. But if you are a repeat offender, at some point, no more mercy. At some point, no more compassion. You have proven yourself to be a repeat offender. You make repetitive mistakes. Like, God, look, I don't know what this is here, okay? This could have something to do with, well, I thought God is always forgiving and compassionate. Yeah, God is forgiving and compassionate. But do you know what forgiveness actually means? The word of forgiveness, okay? Look, I could go on an entire rant about this, okay, but it would take me a whole hour about a lot of misconceptions when it comes to religion, all right? But you are granted forgiveness for your sins when you have shown up and taken accountability for them, okay? So that's the first thing. These are people that make repetitive mistakes. They're repeat offenders and they don't take accountability for what they've done, which means on earth, you show up and you do the right thing, okay? And you serve off, you know, whatever consequence you have for what you did. These are people that are running away from what they've done. They're trying to get away with what they've done. They have not taken any accountability for what they've done, yet they want forgiveness. Forgiveness is acceptance over what you have done, but you still have to take accountability for it. I mean, you can't put the badge of God on you and say, well, I go to church every Sunday, so that's why I should be forgiven for all my sins. You haven't even taken accountability for your sins. You haven't even shown up and had any kind of a consequence for the things that you've done. I thought, this is like saying, like, I thought God was compassionate and forgiving. I thought God forgives your sins. Okay, so let's put down the Bible for a second, all right? And stop taking everything, like, you know, twisting it so it fits your narrative, first of all, because that's kind of what this gives me, is, you know, the lecture of taking the Bible, trying to twist it and fit into everything. It doesn't work that way, all right? Religion is very complex, but you make choices in life, okay? So first of all, God gave you free will, okay? You can make whatever choice you want, but you can't make whatever choice you want and expect God to always show you compassion and forgiveness. God will show you compassion and forgiveness in that he says, look, here's your choice. You can do the right thing, or you can make it even worse for yourself, because God only wants what's best for you. So when God tells you, look, we need you to show up and do the right thing, say the right thing, okay, and take accountability, that's what that means. That's how you get your forgiveness. That's how you get it. Doing the opposite, running away, hiding your tail between your legs, lying and trying to get away with everything, and being a repeat offender on top of that, what do you mean you are expecting to just receive forgiveness without any consequence? I mean, I don't know about this one. What are you trying to tell me here? What are you trying to tell the collective here? Something here is fair and balanced. This is giving me someone sitting around saying, you can't tell me what my punishment is. You can't tell me that, you know, I did the wrong thing and now I'm not being forgiven for my sins. Look, I'm just a freaking messenger, okay? Take it up with God. But if God says you had a choice and you made the wrong one, then that's how it is. Whoever this person is, made repeat mistakes. They missed every opportunity they had to come forward and do the right thing. They're trying to get away with it. And now they're mad that they don't get a future. This is like a child. Okay, so someone here is acting like a bratty child. Okay, and so let's say God, the divine spirit, is someone's parent. This is like a bratty child that thinks that they should be enabled for all their bad behavior. Oh, you have to forgive me because you're my parent. You have to forgive me. You have to let me do whatever I want because you're my mom, you're my dad. That's what this is. Whiny baby, okay? Um Yeah, someone here didn't get in line the way that they were supposed to get in line. Okay, that's a soul lesson. What they're learning here is a soul lesson based off of their choices. That's what it is. It's a soul lesson. If they're mad about the soul lesson they're about to learn, take it up with God. I feel like they're trying to, okay, and they're mad. They're like, I deserve mercy. But like, do you? Do you really? Because right here, I see a repeat offender. Again, that's like going to the cops saying, yeah, I'm a repeat offender and I keep fucking up, but you have to show me mercy. No, no. You have to. You're the law. You're supposed to be neutral and fair and unbiased. You have to show me mercy and compassion. No, it depends on what you did. Someone here had a choice. They made the choice. They made the wrong choice, okay? Not for their highest good. And now they're upset that they have a consequence when they were presented with the choice. Like, how are you going to be mad at, you should be mad at yourself and not at a spiritualist and also not at the divine because you were presented with a choice. All you're getting now is the hard facts about what happens now that you made the wrong choice. That's it. Or the choice that was not for your highest good. Whoever this person is, repeat offender. 8 of Pentacles reversed twice. They're a repeat offender. That's like God is giving them the same choice over and over again. They keep making the same wrong choice over and over again. And now they want a second chance. Now they want another chance to do it right. What are you talking about? Like, I feel like... the Knight of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, something about walking away and leaving. The Four of Wands and the Knight of Wands. What's that about? Incense burner, your intention, someone's intentions or someone's prayer, okay? So it's like they're mad. They're mad that they're not getting the answer that they wanted from prayer. I don't, okay, what else? The snake, yeah. Yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm sitting here, I'm wondering. I'm like, hold on. So you're telling me you collective, you have a spiritual gift. Okay, that's kind of everywhere here on the table. And you have presented this person with some sort of choice over their own destiny, over their own karma. Okay, a spiritualist. I don't know. All right, so this person is now a repeat offender. They prayed. This snake is praying. I'm just trying to figure out what they want. What do they want? Okay, it's like a reading like yesterday. Like, what do you want, man? They're mad that they're not receiving mercy and compassion. Oh, I thought God was supposed to be forgiving and merciful. Oh, this is like a narcissist praying. Okay, I gotta be honest, like a narcissist that prays. You're supposed to be merciful and compassionate to me, even though I'm a repeat offender and I always do what's best for me. And now they're mad at the spiritualist. That's what it feels like. So you're mad at the spiritualist now. You should be mad at yourself, okay? I don't know who this person is, but the Four of Swords praying. Four of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. This is like somebody that's saying, well, I've been a loyal follower of God all my life. So I should be forgiven for everything I do. How dare you not forgive me? How dare you not show me mercy and compassion when I've been a faithful, religious person for so many years? Yeah, but what did you do? I mean, whoever this person is, they must have done something pretty drastic to get themselves in a position where God is saying, they're like, no, you did not learn your lesson. You did not learn your lesson. You didn't. Even this, like, this is giving me entitlement. Like, whoever this person is, you're entitled. They're entitled. I'm entitled to mercy and compassion. I'm entitled to this. God is supposed to show me this. Like, go read the Bible again, or go read a religious book again, if that's what you think. Okay, I don't know. This is like, this is a half-ass job, okay? So what is it? A half-ass job. This is like God says, do the right thing and confess to everything you did and take accountability. They half-ass it. Half-ass it. So they don't give it 100%. They give it like 20%, okay? And then they walk out of there as a repeat offender, didn't learn their lesson, don't want to take accountability, saying, why I deserve forgiveness now and mercy now because I gave 20%. That's not what was required, though. I don't know why I'm having this argument again with someone, okay? The same as yesterday. But why, the thing is, though, why is it coming out with you and you coming out here as with justice and the choices? Why are they mad at you? I mean, this is like someone trying to drag you into their own mess, okay? What do you have to do with it? You're just the messenger. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse, because they want to lose, because of losing everything. Five of Pentacles here. Again, this is like being, okay, let's get one thing straight. Someone here is a spiritualist. Someone here is only like the mediator, okay? The medium. That means that somebody here only communicates or conveys what spirit asks someone to convey. So they're the middleman. Someone is the messenger. Someone here isn't the one sitting around going, let me think about what someone's choice is. No, God says, Spirit says, this is their choice. Tell them that this is their choice. Tell them that this is what is going on. This is the message. That's all it is. It's a spiritual gift. It's connected to source and connected to divine. And it's given to you because you don't abuse it. And it's only reserved for people that actually deserve it. And this is like someone here at the receiving end of it, okay, who's got a not so nice punishment coming to them. It's not your punishment. You didn't choose it. God chose it. The divine chose it for them because Spirit knows their heart. Spirit knows everything that they've ever done, every thought that they've ever thought. That's Archangel Metatron writing down every single thing you've ever done, everything you've said, everything you felt. Okay, so the divine knows someone's heart and their mind and their soul better than anyone. And if the divine comes down and says, that's your punishment, then that's what it is. And there's a reason for that. And it doesn't have anything to do with the middleman spiritualist that's only conveying this message to someone, okay? The Queen of Swords in reverse, or whoever the Magician Hierophant is, they didn't come up with this. It was spoken to them from the divine and conveyed as a medium, as a messenger. That's it. All right? Look, how can whoever this person is call themselves a man of God anyways when they're sitting around cursing at God and, being mad at God and being mad at everything now, being mad because they are the repeat offender? How can this person even call themselves a man of God? There's someone here that's so blasphemous. And now they're mad at their own punishment. Their own punishment is a culmination of their own choices that they made. And just because somebody that can read their future tells them, look, man, this is your choice and you got to make it now, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, again, that's on them. This is obviously someone who's a narcissist who cannot take any accountability and is now blaming everyone else besides themselves. They don't like their punishment. Well, too bad. Emperor. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. The Emperor, the Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. What's that about? The Ten of Swords. Ultimate betrayal. The Fool and the Message. Yeah, someone here, look, they're mad. Okay, so someone here is mad right now because they thought that they would be getting good news and they would be hearing that they're getting a new beginning after a painful ultimate betrayal. That's the thing. That's the thing. They thought, oh, I can just stab someone in the back and then I can just what? Half-ass it and I would get a new beginning. No, God's punishing you for something that you already did. This is what I mean. This is like someone who thinks that they can kill their neighbor's cat and then they can walk into church and say, oh, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and you're forgiven? What delusion do you live in? Okay, and even someone like this reading the Bible, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. So you think because you are a man of God, you can just get away with anything? Because God will forgive you and show you mercy and compassion. I mean, sorry, but that is brainwashed. That is some brainwashed thinking right there. That is cult mentality, okay? I don't know what they're on. I think that somebody got something really messed up with what is God's spirit? What is the energy of God? What is the divine spirit of God? What are we doing here on earth? We're learning lessons, okay? And a repeat offender being mad that they're not getting any kind of compassion and mercy, that just shows me that, whatever's going on here, God knows exactly who you are and exactly what you did, and you are getting exactly what you deserve, okay? So what else here with the Wheel of Fortune? The Four Cups, forgiveness. They expected forgiveness. They expected something to be fully pardoned and forgiven. The Ace of Cups, they expected forgiveness for this burden here, Five of Wands, okay? Yeah, someone is mad, all right? Somebody is mad. They might be... something about you being this spiritualist or having this gift, okay? Maybe they don't want to recognize it or they don't want to accept it in a way, or they thought that they would be getting rid of all these burdens. Why are they still carrying these burdens? Because, look, you haven't, okay, so speaking up and telling the truth is one thing, but there's consequences that come from your actions. And just because you speak up and say something, and the way that it's coming out here, you probably this person half-assed it, that means they're still going to get consequences for what they did. It's just not going to be as severe as how it might have played out had they continued to stay stubborn. This person is in denial about something here. In denial or confused about forgiveness for their sins. That's what this is. Again, it's like, look, it's like somebody killing their neighbor's cat. And thinking, so then they're like, okay, so I got to do the right thing and I maybe got to say something. So then instead of going to their neighbor and saying, look, man, I killed your cat, they're going to say, I've accidentally might have run over it and I didn't see it. And I'm really sorry. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. Lying. You get what I mean? Lying. Half-assing it. Okay? Not telling the full truth. And then they expect to be forgiven. Well, at least I said something, right? I didn't have to say something. I could have said nothing. I didn't have to tell you that I ran over your cat. I could have just lied and kept it to myself. So God, why are you not forgiving me and having mercy on me that I half-assed it and told them that I accidentally maybe ran over their cat? Because that's not what you did. First of all, you did it on purpose. And second of all, that's not what God asked you to do. Didn't ask you to half-ass it and talk your way out of it. Avoid accountability. And third of all, why are you expecting not to face any kind of punishment for what you did? Just because you admitted 20% of what you did, you're expecting not to be let off the hook? I mean, this is delusional. You're the problem. You try and run over someone's, this is just an example, by the way, okay? But it's like you purposely run over someone's cat because you just can't stand your fucking neighbor. You do it on purpose. Then you try to talk yourself out of it and you don't even want to take accountability. You try and lie and say it was an accident when it wasn't a fucking accident and you know it. And then you think you're just going to be forgiven. Who is this? Who is this? Because it's like, what do you want? This is the same person from yesterday, I swear it is. What do you want? You failed your test. Don't be mad at God. Don't be mad at the spiritualist. You're the problem, all right? Thinking you're just going to get a new beginning. I don't know. It's like spoiled, entitled child here, okay? That's the energy. Spoiled and entitled narcissist. Look at this, delusional. I deserve forgiveness for this burden, okay? I thought I was going to be, look, this person thought, they're like, I don't want to carry this burden. Please, God, forgive me, okay? And let me put the burden down, half-assing it the whole time, Two of Swords. Lying, denying, pretending like they don't know what's going on. This is that energy of somebody purposely running over their neighbor's cat and then pretending like they have no idea and it was an accident and they didn't do it on purpose. Liar. Why would God show you mercy and compassion for this? Liar. This is the same person lying to God. Seven of Wands in reverse. Okay, giving up, or something can't be defended here. The Chariot with the car. What? It can't. They don't have a good defense for why they ran over someone's cat. I mean, this is just an example, but it has to be something like that. Because it's coming out with the Chariot, which is a vehicle or fast-moving transportation, okay? Someone's choice. The choice was tell the truth, okay? And you'll be maybe forgiven in some sense, okay? Four of Swords. You half-assed it. You didn't do what you were supposed to. You weren't supposed to say, oh, it was an accident. I had no idea. You were supposed to be honest and say you did it on purpose because that's what really happened. You did it on purpose. Whoever this person is, I can feel it. That what they did to someone was on purpose. They wanted to do it because they're a selfish narcissist, honestly. Don't come around God, lie to God saying, oh, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. That's a half-ass excuse. And now you're mad at your punishment. Man, your punishment is exactly what you deserve. Don't be mad at the spiritualist. They're just the messenger for your own choices that you made. This is your own bed that you will lie in. You made your own bed. That's what these people don't want to understand, is that they make their own bed. And you're not the one deciding their karma. That's the next thing. You're not the one deciding their karma for them. You're only a spiritualist who can read their future and tell them that that's what it is. First of all, okay? You're not the one deciding the punishment, saying this is what's going to happen to you. You're just reading their future and saying this is what's going to happen to you because of the choices you made. Okay? That's it. Yeah, I can only tell you what you're about to get. Knight of Wands, okay? That's the truth. That's the truth. All right. People with this kind of a gift, all right, this kind of a spiritual authority, look, they can only tell you the truth, and they can only tell you what you're about to get back and what you're about to receive here for the actions that they took. That's all that's going on here, okay? It's no hocus pocus. It's just, it's your destiny, your fate is literally your own choosing. It's your choices that you make every day. Okay, so a spiritualist comes along and says, hey man, you got a very important choice to make today. I can tell you. All right. Don't be mad at the fortune teller, because that's really what it is. Don't be mad at the fortune teller telling you your future after you just fucked up the biggest test of your life. Oh, I deserve mercy. I deserve compassion. God says you don't. Spirit says you don't. So, like, what do you want me to do about it? Whoever this snake is, okay? Whoever this snake is, what do you want me to do about it? I'm just the fortune teller, all right? That this person has bad karma coming for being a repeat offender, that is their own fucking problem. Okay, you didn't tell them to do what they did. You didn't force them to make the wrong choice. You didn't force them to be a narcissist. You didn't tell them to half-ass everything and not take accountability. You probably told them to do the right thing. If they don't want to do that, they go against it, then like who you mad at? A man, that's this person, this man. Yeah, I can tell. All right, they're mad about a coffin. Okay, you could have told them, look, man, because of the fact that you're a repeat offender and you make bad choices and you're still lying and trying to get away with it, you don't have a future. God says time's up for you because you've repeat offender. You've been doing stuff so many times, so long without doing the right thing. Okay, you don't seem to learn your lesson. God says time's up on this lesson. Time's up for you. They don't like that news. Well, then they should sit down and think about what they did, right? Like in timeout. Go to timeout and think about what you did. They're still not doing it. They're still blaming you and God. So that tells me everything I need to know about them. Really. Everything. No accountability whatsoever. Epiphany, the key, yeah. The epiphany. This snake, okay, people are going to have an epiphany about why this snake is stuck, tied up and bound, okay? The anchor. They got an anchor around their foot. They're tied down here. It's a snake, okay? God tied this person up for a reason. God gave them a punishment for a reason. God, the divine, sat this person down and said, this is your punishment, no mercy, for a reason. And it has to do with being a repeat offender on something, okay? And also being a straight up narcissist. This person, I can feel it. I can't diagnose them. I can just tell you, whoever they are, narcissist, for sure. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope this helps, okay? Until next time, bye.